No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Little Lukey, and the Euro Under King. I'm wearing I got the Kobe Bryant Phillies jersey on. It's number 8, Kobe Bryant. Because, Kobe Bryant was a Phillies fan. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, guys, let's not beat around the bush. We'll talk about the elephant in the room. Alex and I, we're back underwater. We're taking on water. But who isn't after last week's card? I'll tell you who isn't. Every square better and their mother. Every single square better in the whole gambling league, the International Gambling League. So we're coming in late to you. Let's explain that first. Dan's not here. Dan is stuck in San Diego, sleepless in Seattle. He's stranded in San Diego. So he went to California. It's amazing he didn't get killed there. But, when it comes to the bets, when it comes to getting in the ring, I was all oatmeal north of the eyebrows last week. I came on the show. I said it's going to be a dog week. I picked a lot of dogs. Not just me. Dog or Pass podcast, Cody Saftik, the gold standard up in Canada, said the same thing. And I watched the show after mine. But he was, it's a dog heavy week, and we all took a bit of a bath. But we'll talk a little bit about last week's card. It's already Wednesday. Who really cares? There are some things, some learnings. It's an Alex and Luke show today, so we're gonna take you through some of our favorite YouTube videos. We're gonna talk to you about what music we're listening to. We're gonna really give you sort of this is a for the culture show. So we'll give you our cultural picks, our cultural thoughts. But we're gonna do a small recap on last week's card. We'll get into Spivac versus Tybura. It's a shorty. It's a little short offering. It's Tybura versus Spivac 2. It's a 10-fight offering right now as it stands at this moment. You had some cancellations, some rebookings, but we'll get into the 10-fight offering. It takes place at 5 p.m. this Saturday. It's an early offering. I'm going to be at a wedding that starts at 6 p.m. I'm a groomsman in the wedding because I have a lot of friends in real life. You can come on here, you can say, Luke, you're a loser. You're down $200. $200 is pretty much like $20 with inflation at this point. So it's a drop in the bucket. It's put me with my back against the wall, which, as you guys know, I'm a Wolverine. I'm not going to get sick. Don't worry. I'm just having a little drinky. This is Svedka lemon Svedka, and ginger Wegmans seltzer. That's right, Wegmans. A lot of you guys are probably like, what's Wegmans? Wegmans is the new Whole Foods. It's basically, ever since Amazon bought Whole Foods stinks now. So you got to go to Wegmans if you want to get the real good organic, you want to get the real good selection. So I have a Wegmans in my area. That's how you know I'm in a rich community. That's how you know I'm in a high income area. I have a Wegmans. I have a Trader Joe's. I have Aldi if I want to go there. I have the Fresh Market. I have Giant. Giant's the worst we have to offer. When I was in college, Giant was the best we had to offer, right? In low income communities. But it's neither here nor there. I didn't drink Monday. I didn't drink Tuesday. It's Wednesday. I'm drinking today. So what do you want? What do you want from me? A lot to get into. Lots to talk about. Alex, how have you been, brother? I haven't really spoken to you in a little bit.
I didn't do too well this past weekend. I'm doing just fine. Just trying to keep my head above water, trying to win a couple bets. Probably not going to go too crazy this week. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. But it was a chalk heavy card last week. A lot of crap, if you ask me. I didn't really like the card. I didn't enjoy it. Dana White had all this shit to say about how bad the London card was. I thought the London card was phenomenal, apart from the main event of the evening. Like, every other fight was pretty fucking good. If it was my money's worth, you know what I mean?
The main event was good. I mean, in terms of you have a huge underdog dominating the champion 4 out of 5 rounds, and you have, a guy who got to rise to the occasion and get his due against a guy who kind of, in one way or another, beat him before, right? So I liked the London card. To be honest, you're right, Alex. It was a polar opposite card for me, in the sense that
solar opposite.
Yeah, the London card. Everybody was locked in. Everybody was in the Discord chatting. Everybody was winning money. I won on almost every single fight I bet on. I had a great time. I took myself from minus 130 up to 546.15, and then so I won, damn near $700, and I brought myself back, into the positive, and then I lost it all last weekend. It was a daytime card. I was day drinking, and nobody was in the Discord. Everybody was at the beach. Nobody was even really watching it. Every fight to me was a disappointment. We'll talk specifically about which ones and who kind of failed the most. One that comes to mind, so every favorite one on the card except one, Victoria Dudikova. So Victoria Dudikova, consider the invitation to be on this podcast rescinded. I wanted to have her on, and I just wanted her to be speaking Russian the whole time and us ask her questions and her respond in Russian and basically just be saying, I don't speak English. I don't know what you just said there, but in Russian, and then us just like, yeah, okay. So I just have it be a bit the whole show of just like, and I was going to tell her beforehand, like, don't worry about not speaking the language. Just be you. We'll translate it after,
We'll do this all in post.
Yeah, we'll use the AI to, but here's the real kicker in that situation, right? As much as I thought it was going to be a dog-heavy card, what I've been doing lately, and if you follow the open bet sheet on the now defunct Patreon, because, guys, this is outside of my control. Patreon literally shut us down. The Patreon, I got an email saying, hey, your account has been suspended because accounts that show nudity or adult pornography content have to verify their identity.
And this is a sexy show. Don't get me wrong.
But the Patreon has a fucking... there's nothing sexy about a Google sheet. That's all I'm pretty much putting up on the Patreon these days is the open bet sheet. And they shut us down. They're making me take a picture of my ID and do all this verification process now. And I'm kind of like, maybe this is a sign. Maybe we can move on from the Patreon and go to a new era of the show. And I've been thinking a lot about this, guys, because although we're in year 5 of the show, we're still very much beta testing this, alpha testing it. And I have big visions for what I want to do with this show. At the end of the day, I don't come on here for money. I don't come on here for anything except that I have a lot of things I need to say every week. I have things I need to get out to you fine folks. And the more that we have the ability to monetize our YouTube channel. We have not done that. We won't put ads on the YouTube channel. I don't want dirty money. I just want to have a voice in the space. I want to be able to talk to you fine people, tell you the truth, tell you really what's going on here. So we're going to address some comments from last week. We're going to talk about last week's card, but
there were some comments. What were the comments?
Oh, nothing bad. But it's just basically what I'm trying to say is, even though I predicted a dog-heavy card, what I've been doing, and you'll see this in the open bet sheet, is that I've been building what I call a control parlay. So like whenever you have an experiment, you have what's called your control. And your control is sort of just like, okay, so let's say I'm testing the effect, I'm testing the effects of a new drug, right? You give one person the drug, and then you give one person a placebo. The placebo is your control, right? So it's like, this is our baseline, right? So what I usually will do these days, and this is a very smart tactic, very, very, very smart of me, $10 parlay, $10 bet on every single favorite. Okay. Now, obviously, you don't want that to hit. It's only usually like $10 to pay $1,200 or $1,000 or something like that, right? But what it does do is that if, let's say, all the favorites win the first 7 favorites of the night, and you have 4 fights left, you can now bet big, knowing that if the favorites keep winning, you're still in. You still have this awaiting payout. You can bet big on the underdogs, right? So this was kind of my downfall, was that Victoria Dudikova lost, interrupting that parlay. I would not be sitting here with negative money if Victoria Dudikova had won. That was the only bet I lost in a lot of ways. Even though if you're speaking, historical accurate purposes, I think I got 3 picks right on the night, right? So I was watching another podcast, which I actually think is the gold standard, Dogger Pass. Ever since Cody Safdie had his child, he's phoning it in. Ever since Paul Shaughnessy moved across the country, it's a big phone-in job. It's a big rush thing now. I hate to say it, but it's almost unwatchable. But that being said, Stat Diggers. Stat Diggers, I like to think of as not a sister show, but a cousin show of the Perfect Play Pursuit. Independently grown on their own. We didn't know about, like, by the way, guys, we didn't know about any of these shows when we started this thing. We didn't even know there were other shows like this. We just did the Perfect Play Pursuit, started it from scratch. As your YouTube algorithm kind of gets fed shit, I've seen Dogger Pass. We saw Clint's. Clint's been on the show 5 times. I saw Manpreet. Manpreet's been on the show 5 times. Cody Saptic, and then Stat Diggers. That's pretty much all I even know exists out there, right? Maddie Betts, your favorite, Alex.
Maddie Betts.
Maddie Betts.
Maddie Betts. Bear DiGilio.
FaZe Rug. All the FaZe Clan guys. Maddie Betts, I consider him part of the FaZe Clan. So, Stat Diggers, Uncle Weezy comes on the show, and he's like, he basically says what I say every single week here. I actually consolidated the clip. I'll talk for a little bit. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah, Luke brought up Maddie Betts. I actually did want to talk about Maddie Betts today. I wanted to talk about him and Bear DiGilio specifically because I really think that they're the only 2 guys who really get what's going on here. You know what I mean? Who really have their thumb on the pulse, who are really paying attention to the inside baseball, how the sausage is made. These guys have a look at things we can't even comprehend. So we need to really, really, really listen when Bear DiGilio, Brendan Schaub, and Maddie Betts are talking. Those are my – and you throw me in there, those are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, that's your takeaway?
You get those 4 people in the same room, you're in fucking deep shit. Me, Brendan Schaub, Bear DiGilio, and Maddie Betts. I'm manifesting this, and this is going to happen one day. You will see me on a fight companion with that exact cast. Calabasas fight companion with Maddie Betts and Bear DiGilio, and I will be having the fucking time of my life because I will know that I'm surrounding myself with people I want to be like. Okay, the sharp pencils and the dull one. I'm gonna be the dull one, but I will be a sharp one one day, like those 3 gentlemen.
So this is from UFC Vegas 95 Deep Dive, Stat Diggers, DFS by the numbers on YouTube. One of my favorite shows. I always watch it after we do our show. I always listen to it at work. I barely even know who they pick half the time because I'm working, I'm listening to the stats, and then they end up honestly, do they? I don't even know if they ever have even made a pick. Like, I don't know. Like, I swear to God, every single thing is a stay away. It's always a stay away. It's always like a, you should be 1-800 gambler if you're betting this fight. Like, it's never, they never make a pick. But I love these guys. And okay, so this is what Uncle Weezy, who I deeply respect. Brady, I deeply respect you as well. These guys are units, Alex. You really need to start watching these guys. If you watch anything, you should watch these guys because the stats don't lie. The numbers don't lie, right? So listen to this. So this is what Uncle Weezy said.
Sorry, I cannot. I am too busy getting caught up on Rampage and Bears UFC 304 recap, which just came out this past week. So I just need to make sure I'm figuring out what happened 2 weeks ago first, and then we'll cover that.
Send this to Uncle Weezy and Brady if you can. If you know them, if you're like in their Discord, you need to send this clip to them. But before I get into them, I got to show you guys something that I've been. Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. And if this bores you guys, this is a Tybura fight week. No one's watching this anyway. So do you guys ever see this guy come up on your thing? Ask Japan.
No.
Okay, this is this guy. His name's Ask Japan.
Hi.
Hold on.
I want to ask you a question, especially to married men or women. Have you ever had an affair?
Okay, so I've never seen this video. that one, I've never seen this one. But basically, every video is I'm 50-year-old Japanese man. I can't move. My economy is shit. This is my favorite YouTube channel right now. Struggling. I'm 50-year-old Japanese man struggling with midlife crisis. I'm 50-year-old Japanese. This is
thinking about having an affair very openly.
I don't even know the half of it. If you keep going, you'll see there's this one video where he talks about first time finding. Hold on. Oh, this one. Hold on. I gotta find it. Okay. What sex is like in your 50s as a Japanese man, and you can see he's got the virtual reality headset on. Most of the videos are relatively normal, and then he just hits you with one that is off the fucking wall. Look at this one. Japanese VR. Adult videos are amazing. So he's just like, I just got to think that his wife isn't also learning English and doesn't speak English and doesn't know what the fuck he is doing on his YouTube channel, or he's like our wives who do not watch our channel at all, never will. He can say whatever he wants on there, but he's got like 100,000 subscribers. So it's crazy. He's so depressed. I've never related to somebody more in my life than this 50-year-old Japanese man. I see him and I'm just like, he's always like, I have no friends. I'm alone on a Friday night. I have no friends. Meanwhile, he's got 2 kids and a wife. And I'm kind of like, I have friends. I hate them all now. I love my daughter. I just only want to hang out with her. Anything away from that is just silly. Like, I'm about family values now. I'm TradCon, complete TradCon now. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but you got to watch Ask Japan. You got to watch the 50-year-old Japanese man. Live vicariously through him. Like, just know that he's out there. Japanese man, I will fucking party with you. I know you're sober now, but we can just do whatever you want. I will come to Japan. I will party with you. I will take you out. I will be your friend on a Friday night. I will take you out, and we can be friends. Come to America. We will gamble on UFC. I will take you out to. You'll have that affair. You'll have that affair if you're on my watch out here in America.
Pause.
Oh, not with me. Not with me. Not with me.
And I got news for you. That means you get.
So this is Uncle Weezy and Brady. Hold on. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube videos we like to watch and channels that you should also be watching if you're a fan of the show. It's going to help with your gambling. Uncle Weezy and Brady. Uncle Weezy, he said something that I say every week on this show. Every single week. Listen.
Hey, man, these markets are getting really sharp, and we're going to have to start doing something that I didn't think I'd be doing a lot of, Brady. And that's kind of holding my nose and betting some of these lines that you really can't consider to be value, but at least the stylistic read works. And if the stylistic read works and the bet cashes, you can't worry if it's not the best value in the world. But man, it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to find, plus money lines that are going to hit and props that are underpriced.
I say it on the show every week in the opening credits, guys. I say it doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's going to happen. Because at the end of the day...
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
The first week of the show, I said it. The first episode before we had opening credits, I said it.
I don't think that's true. And now that the Patreon's gone, guys, by the way, so you might have noticed like some of the videos that are from the past have been made unlisted. It's
Archivos.
The main goal is, okay, nobody watches the unlisted archives, like, except probably people like Goombas who try to destroy us for supporting Manpreet and his, fancy accounting. But the point is, I was like, it's probably just a liability to even have the archives up, not for the bad picks, for like the other shit we say during the show and, the content that we use like this. They went Viacom, like hitting us with a cease and desist and shit. So I was more so like, okay, I don't know, like the law and ignorance of the law is no defense. So
fair use, and we don't make money, and we don't make money on the show. So
of course. But once we launched the Patreon, I was like, let me take down some of these videos that should be more behind the paywall. And there's really no way for me to know when we said something that's like going to get fired from our day jobs and stuff. So I was like, let me just archive it. The people who pay will put the archives behind the paywall. But honestly, who gives a fuck? I hear things around my office that are worse than anything I've ever said, so I think I'm good. And on the show, so I think I'm good now. I think I'm finally in a good place. I think everything is, the wave is rescinding, and that's kind of the main point I want to make on this episode.
Pendulum swinging back the other way, actually.
And basically, what I want to say is I have a vision for the show. We're still in our infancy stage. We're still in kindergarten as far as I'm concerned. And I want to bring the show to a place where we have the following, right? Dedicated website, our own server, paywall, and you don't just stumble upon the show on YouTube. You have to access it through the website. You have to know what you're getting into and find it and there can be no room for, can you believe he said this, right? It has to just be, hey, you walked into our house. You came into our house. You sat down at our dinner table. You get what you pay for, and this is it. That's the long-term vision of the show. Short-term vision, I got a 2-year-old. I got another child on the way. I got a lot going
I think
on.
that's breaking news. I don't think you ever brought that up.
I have another child on the way, everybody. I breed. So that shouldn't mean
Lukey be fucking.
I be breeding. So the reality is you got to make little clones of yourself. It's the only thing we can do, guys. It's the only thing we can do. If you're in America, guys. Oh, also shout out to the MMA guru. You gotta, in the MMA guru, obviously he's over there across the pond. There's always going to be a little bit of a rivalry, a little bit of he's going to say some things about John Jones. Us here in the States are going to be like, hey, hold the phone. But at the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to go, hey, he's just a nationalist supporting his nation, Tom Aspinall, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I can forgive that. That's the only thing I can forgive. But what you can't forget is that he is dealing with his own shit right now in London, in the UK, his own wokeness, bitch-assness country that could creep its way over to us, right? And it is creeping its way over to us. And we all have to unite as Americans. We have to be cool. We have to be unafraid. We have to be jacked, right? So you see, I'm wearing the jersey. I'm getting jacked. I'm working on it. And, Alex he completed a fast, we're fasting. We are multi-day fasting. We are getting our testosterone up. Alex put down the vape. Okay. We're putting down the vapes. We're getting unaddicted to nicotine. I don't care what Tucker Carlson says. I don't care what Andrew Huberman says. The biggest thing for me is once I saw Joe Rogan with a vape in his hand, I was like, fucking Olympus has fallen. You know what I mean? If the health fucking carnivore diet guy is out here vaping, I mean, what hope do we have? And the only person to blame there is Tony Hinchcliffe, but we'll get into all this later. Okay. We'll get into all this later. The reality is we have a big card to talk about from the weekend before. We're already 20 minutes in. We have a future card to talk about. Watch the Japanese man. So the long-term vision of the show. Can't be dependent upon companies like Patreon. Can't be asking you guys to leap, hop, and jump, and skip all around over to Patreon. We have to just get to a place where we have our own website. And, I don't know how we're going to market it. I don't know how we're going to get new people to come there. But the reality is I'm not YouTube algorithmic. I'm not Mr. Beast enough to even figure out how to get new people to this show, right? Because in the past, when we saw our biggest growth, we were getting new viewership. Now, the algorithm is not getting us out to new viewers. So it's up to you guys. If you like the show, you got to be sharing this on your personal Facebook accounts. You got to be sharing this to everybody you meet. We need a street team, if you will. And we need nerds. We need people who, not nerds, that's a bad word for it. We need tech-savvy individuals who can.
I like nerds. I don't like geeks.
Yeah,
I think Matthew McConaughey once said that.
Yeah, it's like we need people who can help us with the time we don't have, go in and do the hashtags and this, because I just do the same thing every time. Gone are the days where I had vidIQ and I'm going and I'm looking up, these other channels and trying to figure out how I can, leech off their audiences and stuff and inviting other channels on the show. We're not doing that anymore. We're
not an interview show.
The enthusiasm died the day my daughter was born. I just was like, I don't have fucking time for this. I don't care if anybody watches the show. I like coming here, talking to Alex, talking to Dan, getting this stuff off my chest and out there, just so that the history books know, hey, Hunter Campbell, you probably have Botox. That's, just so these things are set, right? You know what I mean?
Little mouth on him. Bing, 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 bing.
We love you guys. Thank you for being here. It's a Serghei Spivac fight week. He's fighting Marcin Tybura for the second time. I didn't even know these guys fought one the first time. Can you believe it? This is two. I didn't know there was one.
Yeah.
This is really news to me. But me and Alex, our backs are against the wall. We're Wolverines. Our high school mascot was a Wolverine. We have to. When you back a Wolverine against the wall, the claws come out, and then we have to fight. You know what I mean? So last weekend was absolutely dreadful.
I'm more of a Jean Grey myself.
What's that mean? Phoenix?
Another X-Men.
Yeah.
Another X-Man.
The card we had last week. So let's start from the bottom. Cedric Dumas, you stink. So does Diniz Chalulin. Rolando Bedoya, you fucking suck.
Terrible.
You can do your combing over this. I'm just going to do a combing, and then you can do a combing. Guram, you're a bitch as well. Gaziv, you're a fucking bitch. Muhammad Yahya, you're the biggest bitch. Alonzo Menefield, good effort. You're just not it. I've never will be. Quit the sport. Joel Alvarez, you're the fucking man. But goddamn, if I didn't have that fight over 2.5, that was one of the bets I did win. But I also had Alvarez by decision, so I'm kind of pissed at you for finishing him in the third. It was unnecessary. You should have let the fight go. Mackenzie Dern, Lupita Godinez, not a brain cell to split between the two of you. You're two of the dumbest fucking fighters in the UFC. You're so fucking dumb. Mackenzie, the weigh-ins were fantastic. The weigh-ins were fantastic.
Poor caray.
But Loopy, you are a fucking idiot. And Mackenzie, in the post-fight interview, she's like, I'm jiu-jitsu girl, but I turned into a boxing match. Yeah, that's the problem we've all had with you for your last 6 fights. You do the same thing. The definition of insanity, 2 definitions. One is speaking in a Portuguese accent when you're not from Portugal. and the other one is or Brazil. The other one is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results. They're always going to be these sloppy, close decisions with Mackenzie Dern. She's never going to get a submission in her fucking life. Gone to the days of them giving her Hannah Cyphers. They're not going to ever give her an easy opponent. Tony Ferguson, again, the definition of insanity, right? But we all knew Tony was insane. That's why we like him, But Michael Chiesa, this is one we actually do need to dissect a little bit. And I'll let you kind of take the ones I already talked about away for sure. But let's just talk about this one for a second. Let's land here and camp out for a sec. Michael Chiesa, take no joy. This meant nothing. My big thing is if everyone's telling Tony that he needs to retire, why should Michael Chiesa take any joy at all about what he did, right? If Tony's so bad, then what Michael Chiesa did is nothing. It means nothing, right? If Tony is so washed and doesn't belong in the sport anymore, then Michael Chiesa is still on a losing streak. Michael Chiesa is still a desk jockey. He is so cowardly. He is so cringe. He is so... This guy, cringy Chiesa. I hate him. And I just want to know. It's like, okay, so he shouldn't have... Michael Chiesa should be given... nothing. No commentating. No analysts. No job. No nothing. Go back to Alaska. That's what I think. That's just what I think.
I agree.
Marlon Vera, again. Marlon Vera, biggest bitch in the whole...
Terrible. Coward. Sucks.
Sucks ass. Is a bitch. Isn't a good fighter. Got dropped. Got dominated in every single way. Is a fashionista. That's the main thing, right? Is a fashionista. Starfucker. Marlon Vera. Starfucker. Marlon Vera. Fashionista. Marlon Vera. Gave him too much money. Doesn't try hard. Doesn't listen to his coach. Jason Perillo, you should be put in jail because you get your fighters hurt. You aren't able to get Luke Rockhold to win against Michael Bisping. You aren't able to get Luke Rockhold to fucking win against Mike Perry. What would Jake Paul do to your whole damn crew, Jason Perillo? Jake Paul comes into your gym, you fucking hold his pocket, Jason Perillo, because your small ass, your fucking Jesse Pinkman looking ass is getting beat by Jake Paul. Marlon Vera's ass is getting beat by Jake Paul. Luke Rockhold, he couldn't even beat Mike Perry. What do you think Jake Paul's going to do to a Luke Rockhold? And Joe Schilling, don't think I forgot about you. Joe Schilling, Jake Paul would whoop your ass too. There ain't nobody... Guys, tell me who Jake Paul doesn't beat at this point. Jake Paul is the fucking best fighter of all fucking time. And guess what? If I mentioned, a Luke Rockhold, a Jason Perillo, a Marlon Vera to Jake Paul, you know what he would say? I know what he would say.
I honestly don't even know who those people are. Please don't ask me any dumb questions.
That's what he would say. Same thing he said to us when we hacked the Triller interview. Got in there, asked Ben Askren a question, asked Jake Paul a question. Did it amount to anything? No, of course not. Because you guys don't appreciate it. Good art. But, we leapt into the TV. We continue to leap into the TV. Our boy Eric Anders, who's on this fucking very show, is about to fight Chris Weidman. Do you know that, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Anders versus Weidman. I messaged him. I said, you better fuck Chris Weidman up. I was like, you better show this guy the fucking door. And we're gonna get him on the show if we can. I'm gonna try to get him on the show. Shara Magomedov and Lord, you guys suck too. Shara Magomedov. I feel like Shrek. Remember when Shrek told Donkey, when Donkey was singing, you know, all the songs on their walk to rescue Princess Fiona in Shrek 1? He said something to the tune of, "Stop singing!" That's how I feel about Shara Bullet. Ready? Stop spinning! He does the twirl that O'Malley mocked Pedro for doing. You know what I mean? Like, he just does that twirl. Like, stop twirling, stop spinning. And to all the other fighters in the card, stop fainting. Enough of this. Everybody's Frankie Edgar now, right? Everybody's Michael J. Fox Edgar. Just flinching. And it's like, hey, if you have to trick your opponent, you're not a good fighter, right? If you have to be like, all right, I'm going to trick you. Maybe you're not meant for this, right? Step into the pocket, be willing to get hit to hit. You're in the hitting business. By the way, the fainting doesn't ever help you guys. You're still getting your fucking asses whooped out there. You're still eating shots left and right. So what the fuck does it even do? What does it even do? Nothing. It does nothing. Stop. They're not flinching. They're not reacting. They're not biting. Anything that Dean Thomas tells you that they're doing is not happening. Dean Thomas didn't even know you weren't allowed to use a fucking inhaler, if you remember that correctly. So Dean Thomas doesn't talk fucking shit about the sport. Dean Thomas is a clown. And I mean that with all due respect. He's very funny. You know, he did the whole Kamaru Usman thing. Hilarious. But Dean Thomas doesn't know his ass from his elbow. I'd beat him in a fight. Dean Thomas, open challenge. I'll fight you any fucking day of the week, legally under the unified rules. And I will whoop you. Like, you're an old man. So don't even respond. I usually say respond. Dean Thomas, don't respond. It will not go good for you. And I love Dean Thomas. I shouldn't really be saying that. I really do. But the reality is, from Gaziv to Mirzakhanov, I shouldn't say Mirzakhanov, he's fine, but to Brenner, to Herbert, especially Herbert and Bedoya. Herbert and Bedoya are actually who I'm talking about here. Jai Herbert, Rolando Bedoya, the fainting, the little like trying to, and then the reset, like the rhythm stepping, the okay, now I'm gonna go. Okay, stop. Just fucking fight. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Let the chips fall where they fucking may. It's going to make no damn bit of difference either way, except we all hate you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and then, in the main event, it's like, of course, I picked Corey Sandhagen on the show. Then I saw that the little sober boy, the little seamstress, Trevor Whitman, was going to be in his corner. I said, I literally went like this. I went, cancel everything, And then I somehow still bet on Corey Sandhagen. That's how I'm down $200, actually. I bet all 546 on my bankroll down to zero. In the main event, I was so drunk by that point. I go, fuck it. Every favorite has won. Sandhagen. I remember what I said on the show. I was like, you said on the show, Luke. I looked myself in the mirror. I said, you said on the show that if you were going to bet on only one underdog, it would be Corey Sandhagen. That's a sign. You need to bet on Corey right now. So I threw $200 into my account, $200 I didn't have, and I bet it on Corey Sandhagen. I bet $100 on him money line and $100 on him by decision. And then I made a promise to God that I would go on a 4-mile run. I haven't even been on a run in ever. And so I was like, I'll go on a 4-mile run around the fucking parkway. I'll do a 4-mile run if Sandhagen wins this fight, God. I promise you. Well, he didn't win, got me off the fucking hook. But I also remembered how I used to do 10 push-ups per fight. So by the end of the card, I'd have done like over 100 push-ups. But I realized I hadn't done any push-ups this card. So I was like, oh, God, I know what you want me to do. You want me to do the equivalent of how many push-ups. So I did 130 push-ups during the Sandhagen fight. I was drunk, so I lost count and actually ended up doing 150 push-ups. I'm still sore as shit because my muscles were like Bam Margera's, all fucking dehydrated from the alcohol. And I like ruined myself, but I did get 150 push-ups in during I got them done by round 4, honestly, because I was just paranoid that I wouldn't be able to do them. So I just kept doing them. And, did it work? No. I wasted all my ritualistic mana with the tail of the newt the week before. So God was like, oh, no, Luke, you were doing pagan rituals the week before. Don't be coming to Jesus now. All right. He was mad at me, but hopefully I can, God, listen, the religion I'm in forgives. That's the main fucking thing. Okay. So hopefully I do my penance. I say my Hail Marys this week and God forgives me. But I'm not going to be watching this card. I'll be at a wedding. I'm literally only going to bet probably $20. You know, we'll see how it pans out. But I need to hit a perfect parlay. Let's hit a perfect parlay. Give us your takes on the card. As I said a lot. I mean, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Lord, dumb as a box of rocks, doesn't even go for a takedown until the third round. Like that was,
and it works like a charm when he does it. You go, hey, fucko. Maybe try that in round 1. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That was infuriating. You know, Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, Corey Sandhagen represented himself well, fought pretty well, but you know, maybe his stand-up isn't as good as we thought. Umar Nurmagomedov was kind of picking him apart on the feet. You know, Umar is going to be really good. I think he's going to struggle with some other guys. Corey Sandhagen has never really been super, super impressive to me, and we all know the wrestling is a huge hole in his game, so that's probably why his striking wasn't all there. He was too worried about the takedown.
He looked great in the wrestling department, though.
He looked great, but, you know, that is probably taking away from his striking. You're sitting there thinking, all right, I got to
training. You're spending all this time focused in your training. You get a little rusty, you know,
100%. And you're trying to prepare so much to put your hands down to get in position to stop a takedown that it's taking away from whatever you were planning to do with your hands. And it takes away almost the threat of kicks entirely, the threat of a takedown. You know what I mean? So that only leaves his hands, and he needs to get his hands into position to even fight the takedowns off. So, you know, I thought Corey did pretty well. I didn't think that it was as much of a landslide victory for Umar as, you know, other people did. But I thought it was, you know, good enough. I definitely thought Umar won going into the scorecards. I just thought Corey represented himself well.
Yeah, I thought Corey represented himself well. I thought every round was close, but I think Umar pretty much won every one.
Yes, exactly. I can agree with that.
And I'm just thinking Corey Sandhagen doing the Chris Curtis thing, like, you know, Chris Curtis, I want to go to Valhalla. Yeah, and then you fucking cry when you get poked in the eye. And then you know, it's like, you don't want to go to Valhalla. You fight, you're one of the safest Philly shell style fucking fighters ever. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, you don't put yourself on the fucking line and die with a sword in your hand. You cry when you get poked in the eye. So, no, you don't.
You know what's hilarious also?
I want to hurt people. It's like, okay, who? Octogenarian fucking guys with fucking ALS like Frankie Edgar who shake and tremble like fucking Michael J. Fox? That's who you want to hurt? Poor Frankie. Like, you don't hurt anybody else. You fucking don't. You're not scary at all, you know? So,
yeah.
You hurt people, hurt them.
Something else I found hilarious is like Tony Ferguson literally let Charles Oliveira break his arm in the cage and then just tap to a rear naked choke against Michael Chiesa. So like the guy is just wired different than everybody else, I suppose, because anybody else would be like, oh, please don't break my arm. All right, choking me out, you know, I'll wake up in a couple seconds. Like, it's not a big deal. Unless you're Bobby Green, then you get both done to you at the same exact time, which is terrible.
And Tony was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't have to cut the weight. That was your undoing in a lot of ways because Chiesa looked like, you know, Chiesa plus something. You know what I mean?
He looked like John Anik and John Anik's twin in a coat on one on each other on the other shoulders.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then that is how John got the job when he first interviewed him. Man, I hate John Anik so much. And Paul Felder. Hey, Paul, I thought the reason that you stopped fighting was because you couldn't keep spending time away from your kid. Now your ass is in Abu fucking Dhabi. How long's that flight, bitch? I want to see Paul Felder's calendar now versus when he was fighting. I guarantee it's more packed. What he meant was, I don't want to fight because I'm getting my ass beat. Like, stop sugarcoating it. Stop putting sugar, as Brendan would say, stop putting sugar on your dick and tell me it's delicious.
Any of size.
Paul Felder, get mad about this, Paul, because you're in Philly all the time. I'm in Philly all the time. Please get mad about this. You are a bitch ass, okay? All you did was retire because you were getting your ass beat and threw your daughter under the bus, dude. Oh, I can't. These fighters who act like it takes time, like, you don't work 40 hours a week. You don't train 40 hours a week. You do not fight more than 3 times a year. Like, you definitely are analysting and commentating and doing autograph signings more than 3 times a year. So don't put your daughter under the fucking bus. I can't wait till she grows up. I'm going to tell her exactly what you did, how you threw her under the bus. When she's 18, I'm going to go, Paul Felder, hey, Mrs. Felder, how's it going? What college are you going to? Oh, cool. Arizona State. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, your dad's a fucking bitch, dude. Let me show you this video that he did after he was somebody. Now, he said this was to spend more time than you, but I'm going to show you his schedule after that. And I'm going to show her the schedule. I'm like, you might not remember this. You were young, but he threw you under the bus and blamed you for retiring so that he could then spend more time away from you, right? It's like, I have receipts, Paul. We all have receipts. We have the flight logs. We have the flight logs. You're on TV. You can't hide this. I'm literally going to pull up Paul Felder's like fight schedule when he was in the UFC. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Maybe she'll just see this video. I don't have to actually like approach her when I'm 50 years old or whatever, however long it's going to take. I don't even know how to spell his fucking name. Paul. I fucking hate that name. Felder. The Irish Dragon. I love when Conor McGregor clowned his fucking 17-6 ass and told him he's only 40 now, by the way, too. It's like, you're such a quitter. Okay. So let's see. In 2020, he fought twice. Okay. In 2019, he fought 3 times. In 2018, he fought 3 times. In 2017, okay, yeah. So in 2017, way before you retired, you had 3 fights. And in 2016, he fought 3 times. So 3 weekends out of the year, right? Now, next week, I'll have for you the numbers of how many times Paul Felder's been an analyst, how many times Paul Felder's been at an autograph signing, how many times Paul Felder's been on vacation, how many times Paul Felder has just I don't know, is he a single dad? Is he on dates? I mean, what's going on here? Like, I think something is seriously wrong with this guy. I really loathe him.
Same with Anthony Smith.
All good fun. Paul Felder, this is not all good fun. I hate your ass. And I know he's going to get mad if he sees this. Send this to Paul Felder, please, for the love of God.
He's a hothead. Gingers are just bred that way.
Why did Hollywood buy the UFC and decide they're going to put every ugly ass motherfucker front and center? Anthony Smith, Michael Chiesa, Paul Felder, the 3 biggest fucking duds we've ever seen. Send them all to Rob McElhenney. Send them to Ryan Reynolds. Let's get them on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, reoccurring roles. I mean, we need to get them away. Let's get them on The Bear. Let's get them on an FX original series. I need them away from me. I need them on shows I will not watch. I need them on anywhere else but UFC. John Anik too, please send him to the NFL. Please send him to the NFL so they can literally put a bike pump in his ass, pump him up, and make him the ball. Like, I need him to be the football of 2025 season. I want Saquon Barkley, just don't get him through the fucking uprights. Does he play offense?
Yeah.
Yes, Saquon. That's what I thought. Okay, I didn't want to get exposed, you know. Anyway, so listen, guys. Let me just show this real quick. Oh, I was only joking, Paul. No, I'm not fucking joking. I hate you. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Eric Anders better get on the show. Eric Anders better stomp a mud hole in Chris Weidman's ass. And really, this is what I want to say to Eric Anders, and I'll say this to him on the show. I'll say, Eric, the UFC thinks so little of you that they gave you Chris Weidman, a guy they love and would love to win and send off into his next commentary job on a win. They think you're an easy fight. They think you're somebody who does. Weidman thinks, like he thought with Silva, like he thought with fucking Tavares, he thinks a guy I don't have to worry about hurting me severely. A guy I don't have. They're not giving him fucking. What even division does Weidman fight in at this point? 185, right?
Yeah, they're not giving him Shara Bullet.
They're not giving him Shara Bullet. They're not giving him fucking who's the other guy? 185.
There's plenty. Yeah, Jared Cannonier.
No, but he's too much of a contender. I'm saying, like, they're not giving him any of these Joe Pyfer. They ain't giving him Joe Pyfer. No, they ain't giving. Please let Chris Weidman fight Joe Pyfer. Please.
Michelle Piera.
But they ain't giving him Michelle Piera, who I think is a 170 pounder though.
I think he moved up.
Weight all the time.
Yeah, I think he moved up.
Yeah, that's my thing. So Eric,
after the Wonder Boy debacle,
they think you're going to go in there and play nice. They think you're going to go in there. Oh, he's an athlete. He doesn't know how to wrestle. He doesn't know how to box. Weidman thinks that you're an easy fight. That's why he's taking this fight. So you need to take this elbow and break his fucking face. Is what you need to do. Ever since Weidman did that eye poke bullshit, I can't stand his ass. I can't stand it.
Another thing to cap off last week's card, I loved the Guru's take on this. He was saying that he's glad Tony Ferguson kept one of his gloves because he knows they didn't have a 10-minute Michelle Waterson B-roll for him after if he took both of, or if he left both of the gloves and actually retired. He was like, it would be astounding because you know that they gave Michelle Waterson a better send-off than what they're going to give Tony Ferguson.
And I mean, I'm not going to say what I want to say, but what I want to say is Michelle Waterson looked at Dana White in a certain kind of way that made me think I saw chemistry. That's all I'm going to say. I saw chemistry.
A little fly in the ointment.
I saw a fly in the ointment. You know what I mean? And I don't like it. But at the end of the day, the women's division is so shallow that you can be. I mean, Michelle Waterson's essentially what, like the fucking Kenny. Like the
Wait, do you mean that they only like promote the hot ones?
Yeah, I mean, or the really ugly ones, right?
Yeah.
You got to be, and no offense, but you got to be Gabby Garcia, Chris Cyborg, or Paige Van Zandt. You know, what's the other girl's name? I don't even know. They're all LA 5s.
Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, they're all LA 5s, New York 4s to me. I mean, it's crazy. There's not any reason to judge women by their appearance in modern America. So, let's just separate the art from the artist a little bit here, guys. Let's have just pure performance, performance quest. That's how I look at it.
It is what it is, and I can't change the past. And
so, look, you're right. They had no send-off prepared for Tony. They could have did an epic one. He probably, yeah. Hey, listen. Longest win streak, longest losing streak.
Yeah. That is a saving grace.
You know what that tells me? Gives a fuck, tries, wants to be here. Rather have him here than these guys who I need more money, I need more this. And I love what Muhammad Mokaev said. I'll do my next fight for free. Love that. In an era where everybody's bitching about money, I love a guy who says, I'll do it for free. I want to be here. So that's fantastic. Muhammad Mokaev, I think you should do all your fights for free.
Yeah. As long as you listen to the sheiks and actually do this.
Sheiks pay him under the table. You don't want to pay taxes on it anyway, Mokaev. You want to be able to get that under the table money. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just let the sheiks give it to you under the table. All right. So let's talk. We talked about last week. Caio Fernandez, you're the one good person. I love you. You're good.
And Joel Alvarez, don't forget him. He did amazing.
Yeah, but I
didn't bet on him.
I wanted to. And Davidson Figueiredo, you're amazing too. I love Davidson Figueiredo. So here's who I like from last week. Davidson Figueiredo.
Cody Sanhagen.
No. He made the mistake of putting Trevor Whitman, who is so obsessed with his little sewing machine. He's like, Trevor Whitman should be in jail. Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman. So let's see, Trevor Whitman. You're a striking coach, right? You're a striking coach. Okay, cool. So you let Justin Gaethje get absolutely...
And don't even bring up what happened under his watch with Rose.
What happened with Rose? Oh, yeah.
I'm fighting for my life.
Hey, if you get married, it's all good under God's eyes. So she's engaged, I heard. But listen, you should be in jail, Trevor Whitman. You allow Justin Gaethje to... He's going to be in a wheelchair one day. He's going to be literally with Velcro shoes on at the UFC Hall of Fame fucking inductions. And that's on you, his coach. You let Kamaru Usman get kicked in the head by Leon. And you allow for Corey Sandhagen to have no striking against a guy who's predominantly a wrestler. So Umar...
And you do it with a smile every time.
Oh, that smile. I want to wipe it off. Let's put a smile on that face. I want to take a smile off that face is what I want to do. I can't stand Trevor Whitman, dude. I fucking hate Trevor Whitman, dude. He is the worst thing about this sport. He's like this and the memes that came out, oh, look at Trevor Whitman. He is smiling whether his fighter wins or loses. Look into that. Yeah, maybe he's like a bad guy, when maybe he should care more. Maybe he should actually feel something when bad things happen so that he learns from them instead of letting them get repeated again and again. You know, poor Justin Gaethje's mom and dad, were they smiling?
No.
No, I saw the footage. They were not smiling. Thanks. Shout out to Timbo, psycho, another psycho. He purposely he goes, this is Timbo, O'Malley's coach. He goes, this is Timbo with his phone. He's like recording his own response, knowing Gaethje's parents are sitting behind him. He's like, like purposely putting the camera on them, and then airs it.
He's like Neon, dude. He's like the UFC Neon or Sneeko streamer guy.
And listen, hey, Timbo, you know the fucking truth. You know what you did. You know you did it on purpose. That's all that needs to be said. I know you have plausible deniability that you didn't, but I know you did. You know you did. And guess what? I'm glad you did, because I like to see people's loved ones' reactions when their loved one gets fucking killed in the octagon. I like it. It's why I watch it. Like, and I know that's bad. That's called Schadenfreude. That is. I like it like a horror movie. You know what I mean? I don't like it, but it does something for me. You know what I mean? It's mana that I consume, that I digest, and it does. It's a feeling. You know what I mean? It's not a. I'm not out here like, oh, like I love it. I'm like, ooh, why do I want to see this? You know what I mean? And look, maybe it's because I grew up when I was a little kid watching, you know, beheading videos and meat spin and lemon party and all sorts of fucked up shit, right? It's like, maybe that's why. Like, because I was because like Trevor Whitman, my coaches in life were asleep at the wheel and allowing me to they weren't raising me right. They should be in jail, probably, a lot of them. Some of them are. Some of them are in jail. So,
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
you know what you did. You know what you did, Timbo. You did it on purpose. These millennials, man. Okay. What do we do? What do we do now? I feel like we burned a lot of opportunities. You know, I still have Hunter. Let's call Hunter Campbell.
Yeah. Give him a ring.
I'm gonna call him tomorrow. I'm gonna call. I am gonna call him. I really want to just say, look. Listen. Don't get me wrong. I bleed out for this. This is all I have. This is all I care about. I care about the UFC, right? That's all I care about. And I just want that to eventually, like you said, I want to manifest eventually someone. You know, I had a dream. I had a dream last night. I swear to God, this is true. I had a dream that a surprise party was being thrown for me. Mm-hmm. And I showed up, and it was just all the wrong people were invited. Like, it was like a bunch of people from my high school, not that I hated, but just that I was like acquaintances with. You know what I mean? It was just no main characters. I went to a surprise party for me at like a wedding style venue, like a really nice lodge hall. And everybody there was just side characters in my life. Nobody was a main character. It was like, oh, this is kind of awkward. Like, I know you, but I'm not like you're not a main character. But the one thing in the dream that was keeping me going, keeping me from literally crying at my own surprise party, was that somebody told me Dana White is going to come to your And I was like, oh my God, Dana is going to be here. And that was my whole dream, was just me like walking around like, okay, so when Dana comes, okay. And then when Dana White comes, like, I just want Dana to just know what I know. I want to get out what I have in my head and give it to him and be like, listen, I've been watching everything that you've done and everything the UFC has done since I was in 6th grade. And like, here you go. These are my takes. This is my opinion. And it does mean something. And I promise you that this is valuable information. Like,
please bring me to the Tunnel of Chaos.
And I'll settle for jail. No, I don't even need to go to the Tunnel of Chaos. I'm not a leech. I'm not a fucking user.
No, I need to go to the. I need to get into the tunnel.
From Dana. I just want him to know there are some people out there, unlike Taylor Luan and fucking Jelly Roll, who genuinely respect him, don't want anything in return, and in fact give, and in fact have evangelized people to buy pay-per-views. In fact,
you do look a little bit like Steve will do it right now. You are going to give Dana White a nice gift.
I am like a Steve will do it type. Like, I'm like, I don't want anything in return. I just want to give. Like, I'm a Steve will do it type. And yeah, so my point is, I've evangelized so many people to be UFC fans. I've put myself on the fucking cross, and the crown of thorns is on my head. And if Dean Thomas wants to cry about it, if Paul Felder wants to cry about it, if Hunter Campbell, wants to express no emotion because of all the Botox about it, I don't care. You know what I mean? Hunter, look, come on, it's a joke. But Paul Felder, I truly don't care. Dean Thomas, it's a joke. I'm just saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm worth something to you, Dana White. I'm worth something to you. And I've been, you think, oh, my team is so loyal. I'm so loyal. I've been with you through it all. I've been with you through it all. We need Dan on the show. This is how it goes when Dan's on the show. We've broken down not a single fight. Okay. Any YouTube videos you want to shout out? I mean, I know you shouted out the Jackson podcast. I shouted out, Ask Japan.
Jackson podcast, Below the Belt, The Fighter, only The Fighter, not The Kid. Shab Show,
AKA All Fast, Drive Fast, No Gas.
The Fighter and the Kids. Food Truck Diaries. And whatever else you can find Maddie Betts, Brendan Chopper, Ben Giglio on. Those are my shows. Those are the shows I like.
Oh, the UFC weigh-in show. Even though
yeah,
one out of every 3 episodes is an insufferable guest like Chris Weidman. I'm looking through my YouTube history just to see, obviously. Oh, what I was gonna say is Dana White. I would settle for Chael Sonnen, and not settle. I mean, that's equal is what I mean. If I can't meet Dana White, maybe Chael's a little bit more accessible. I gotta sit down with Chael. I gotta sit down with Dana. One of the two. I need to talk to one of the two. That's all I want to talk to. Those are the two main players. Everything Dana knows, Chael knows. Everything Chael knows, Dana knows. There's not a secret between the two of them.
I love the balls on my mouth.
I fucking love you, Chael. I love you so much, dude.
What is that from?
I don't know. I do not know. What was it from? I don't know.
I can't imagine what would make him say something like that.
I'm trying to think. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. I don't even know what episode it was from to tell you. I just saw it and I was like, need that. Need that forever. All right. Okay.
All right, let's get on to this card. First off, we got Lucky Luciano versus Alencar. Alencar wrote one of Luke's favorite books, The Easy Way to Quit Smoking the Hard Way.
Oh man, I wish I could just pull a cigarette out right now, and it really works. My favorite quotes is by the great Mark Twain. Quitting smoking is easy. I've done it 100 times.
Yes. Likewise. I'm going to go Alencar by unanimous decision, strictly off vibes, not just because she's a cutie pie, because I've always been a fan of her. I used to watch her in IBJJF all the time, in Polaris all the time. She's got slick jiu-jitsu game, and the ground game is a little bit more important in these ladies' fights. She reminds me of a little bit of a tiny tornado Tisha Torres, one of my favorites. So I'm going with Alencar on this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, going into their fight on the Contender Series, Alencar was a -240 favorite, and the fight went to a draw. And the only reason it was a draw is because they gave Luciano a 10-8 third round. Now, Alencar completely gassed. It was the Contender Series. That's a mistake made, learned, moved on from. I'm going with Alencar too. You don't move somebody from a -240 favorite to a +140 dog because they got tired in the third round of a fucking Contender Series fight, right? So this is what we call value. This is what we call everybody else being dumb, recency bias. Everybody going, yeah, but did you see what happened in the last fight? No, did you see what happened in the last fight? Did you? Because I did. I watched it. I was in Florida. I remember watching it in Florida. And I'm going with Talita Alencar as well. And so is Dan, actually. So if I go to Dan's picks that he sent me, he picked Alencar. So that is a Triple B certified +140 underdog, according to Tapology. And take that to the bank and inject it in his asshole. Inject it in your ass. So
lead off with Dan for this one. Errens versus Youssef Zalal, a fan favorite here on the Triple P Boys show.
Dan's going Zalal, and I'm going Zalal as well because I love Youssef Zalal, and it was a travesty that he was cut off that majority decision draw to Damon Blackshear. He went and got back to back finishes. He got a finish in boxing. He got to finish in MMA. He got to finish by submission in MMA. And then he comes back and submits Billy Quarantillo in a fight where I personally picked him. I know that I think a couple other people on this show probably did as well. Billy Q, 35-year-old, 145 pounder is, it's never going to work. He got choked out by Zalal in a fight where, if you look at the odds prior to the fight, Zalal, it was an even money fight, -110. So this is one from like a Johnny the Greek perspective, where Johnny the Greek's going to go, Zalal shouldn't be a -350 favorite. In his last fight, he was lined evenly, but Jarno Errens, he's got a good win 4 months ago against 9-0 at the time, Stephen and Gwen. Other than that, up and down, even outside of the promotion, 5 losses, but they don't look as good as Zalal's losses, right? Like Zalal took our boy Ilya Taporia to a decision. Sungwoo Choi, who looked really fucking good in his last fight, with a finish. He got finished. That's right. I'm thinking of the other Choi by Steve Garcia. So yeah, lost the decision to Sungwoo Choi, split decision to Woodson and Blackshear. I don't think Zalal's a guy who I do respect the fucking shit out of. Factory X Muay Thai, fighting for something more than himself, fighting for Mark Montoya, who I believe is still struggling with health things. I'm going with Zalal, but I hate the line, and it's hard to really tell, with a guy who's been through so many decisions and kind of got that monkey off his back with a finish in his last fight. Hard to tell if he's going to still have the edge, the tenacity, the desire, the desire to fucking conquer. And Errens, brick-headed, probably won't get finished. So I almost kind of like Zalal by decision, but if I pick Zalal by decision, he's going to get a finish. If I pick Zalal by finish, he's going to go decision. So I kind of need to see the weigh-ins to know where I should go as far as all that goes. But just give me Zalal money line, easy parlay pillar, -350, and it'll be fun to root for him. This is a fight I might be
Triple P certifies Zalal. I also think this goes to decision. I think Zalal wins by unanimous decision. Next up,
how Jarno Errens loses. He's been submitted once and he's lost by decision 4 times. So yeah, I think that with his big win path to victory kind of being knockout, I think Zalal is going to play it a little bit more safe. He got the monkey off his back in the last fight. Zalal by decision. Okay, Triple P certified, 2 fights in a row. Next, like you said, go ahead. Karl Williams, Jhonata, Diniz.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Diniz on this one. I think this is actually a really tough fight for him. Williams is massive, really good at pushing guys up against the cage, really athletic, really strong. I'm pretty sure he used to run track. And I think he was even like Olympic level or something of that nature. I'm not positive, but I know he's quite the athlete. But you got to lean the guy who has more finishes. This is heavyweight. He has wins over Alex Pierre in kickboxing. Diniz is great on the feet. I don't think he's won a single fight other than by finish or by knockout. I don't think he's seen a decision in his MMA career. That might come back to hurt him. Karl Williams is tough, but I think Diniz gets the finish in this one. Just got to lean the guy with the finishing capabilities. I don't think Karl Williams is going to be able to put Diniz down, but I think Diniz is going to be able to put Karl Williams down. So I'm going with Diniz. This is a heavyweight fight. A lot. Big guys, 6'4" and 6'3".
And you said that Karl Williams is a big guy. Diniz is bigger in every single metric, 10 pounds heavier in his last weigh-in, 1 inch taller, half an inch in reach. So he's a big guy too. And like you said, he's got that UFC experience in that he came in 3 months ago, knocked out Austin Lane. In a lot of ways, could be bad for him in the sense that like we know Karl Williams
got taken down and ridden out that first round against Austin Lane, and then came back and knocked him out in the second round, I believe.
So that's why Williams is the favorite here. Because I was kind of myself being like, Williams is unimpressive to me. I mean, Chase Sherman, Justin Tafa, bum. Like how does he get this much of a line when he hasn't finished anybody? Anybody he's ever finished has just been a nobody. I mean, he finished a 2-0 guy, a 1-0 guy, a 3-2 guy, got finished by a 12-4 guy who never made it to the UFC. He was like 5, he finished a 9-8 guy, right? So it's like, yeah, if he does win, it's by decision. So I think that's, kind of your path if you want to pick Karl Williams. He's not finishing Diniz. I'm taking Diniz by finish. I think that makes sense. All the sense in the world to a guy like me.
All right, next up,
what is Dan? Dan is going with Karl Williams. Of course he is.
Yeah. Rosa, we got Karol Rosa versus Pannie Kianzad. Is it going to be another red panty night for you, Luke?
Well, I hate both of these ladies a lot. And last time I tried to go red panty night, she got submitted by Macy Chison, who, isn't bad.
Macy Chison's amazing.
Yeah, and she's been through a lot. A crane fell on her house. To be honest, this is a hard one to call. I'm going to leave it off my parlays. I'm minus 200 right now. I need to only pick fights that are good. I'm not even going to really dignify this with a bet. You know what I mean? A girl with 6 losses, a girl with 8 losses. They're fighting each other. I'm going to go with Karol Rosa, but I don't like it.
I'm going Rosa too. Unanimous decision. I think that Pannie Kianzad has had a hole in her game since the beginning of time. It's been the wrestling. She stinks at it. I think Karol Rosa will be able to control those exchanges and, maybe even win some exchanges on the feet as well. I think Pannie is a little bit longer than her, which might cause some problems for Karol Rosa getting on the inside. But I don't think she'll have any issue with that. I'm going with Karol Rosa, but like Luke said, this is something that I'm not really going to have on any parlays.
And Dan's picking Pannie, but I don't know why he's traded in San Diego right now. He texts us his picks. He's picking Pannie. So no triple B certification here. But Karol Rosa, what annoys me about her is her face resembles a white trash trailer park American woman, although she's Brazilian. You know what I mean? She's got that look of the type of chick who will like burn you. You know what I mean? Like you're all outside, you go get a beer from the cooler, you come back and you walk back to the bonfire, and then she's sitting there on her boyfriend's lap and she's like, you left the cooler open, and you're like, oh, and you have to turn around and go shut it, and she's like, dumbass. Yeah, you're like, okay, like that's enough out of you. And she thinks she's being like funny. She thinks she's
a tattoo covering her entire thigh and ass cheek, a tattoo covering her entire shoulder to her elbow, tattoos everywhere, disgusting tattoos, poorly done tattoos.
Will get in a man's face and try to punch him, like wears Cookie Monster pajamas, like, yeah.
Kind of like, who's that girl? New Orleans, Connor calls her a Jezebel. Dustin Poirier's wife. Well, Jolie, that's her name.
Yeah. Like she looks like Karol Rosa. She looks like her name would be, I don't want to say. Okay. Charles Lampos, Grigoriou, Toashima, Kazama. Who gives a fuck? It's Grigoriou. Long Island, New York. Long go Weidman MMA. Thank God Weidman's not there anymore at all. So, you don't have to worry about him rubbing off on this guy. But he lost to Chad Angelliher. Chad Angelliher, that was
tough
bad.
Customer.
That was a bad one. But this guy, Kazama, he just can't cut it, man. No way in hell. He can't cut it. He's never fought anybody good. Japan, I showed you guys the 50-year-old depressed Japanese guy. Japan had what was called Black Monday on Monday. That means it's the equivalent of our, not Black Friday. It's the equivalent of our stock market Great Depression crash. Like Japan's currency is down. I think it's lost 90% of its value. Japan's political system is like 80% disapproval rating right now. They're just too meek as a culture and polite to throw some sort of boogaloo style uprising like they're doing in the UK. So I'm just going to let you know, Kazama's going to lose, and he's a little boy. Like, look at him. This is why your country is failing, Kazama, because you are not because you're a silent finisher, right? Silent finisher, meaning no one heard it because it never happened. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? No. You're 27 years old. You're a little shrimp. This guy is Greek. He's ferocious. He's in America. Fights out of Long Island, New York. He is going to step on you to win. And you're letting your own country and stock markets get absolutely pillaged by the powers that be. You've never had a win against anybody who wasn't also very, much facing a Great Depression in their country right now. So he's depressed. He's financially insolvent. Might make him fight a little bit more, but he's too young to have any investments, right? He's 27. He doesn't have any investments. So he's not even really feeling the effects of this. He's probably like one of the idiot liberal youngsters who voted for the people who are causing Japan to fail right now, right? So Japan, literally, you guys aren't getting enough women pregnant. Another beta thing for Kazama. You should be out. You shouldn't be here fighting. You should be at home in Japan impregnating women. Take note. This Greek guy, guarantee he's got kids. So I'm going with the Greek, Charles Lampos Grigoriou. He's a real finisher. He's going to knock this guy's ass out easily. Give me Charalampos Grigoriou.
If Leon gets slammed on his crown, can you still remember the name?
DC couldn't. DC. Remember that?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leon Rock. Yeah. Oh shit, blow him up.
That is fucking
you're
hilarious.
never supposed to do. You're supposed to remember the name.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'm going to go with Grigoriou, not because of Japan's economic state or anything like that, just because the Contender Series is a lot better than the road to the UFC. And there's a lot more competitive fights and a lot better fighters coming up in the United States, Brazil scene, Canada scene, even Europe scene, coming through the Contender Series and not road to the UFC Asia scene. That are just way more talented. So if you made it through that scene and got to the UFC, I think that you're going to be way more equipped than somebody coming from road to the UFC.
Okay, so Alex, I need you to slowly break down the next one and then take everybody into the one after that, and then I'll come back and break down the one after that because I'm going to use the bathroom. But Dan is taking Yana Santos. I am taking Chelsea Chandler.
Is he taking Kazama or Grigoriou?
Oh, sorry, he's taking Grigoriou, so she'll be certified Grigoriou.
Okay.
I'm taking Chelsea Chandler. The reason I'm taking Chelsea Chandler, Yana Santos is 34 years old. Chelsea Chandler is 33.
Happy you're deciding to take a piss on one of the fights that you can really dive deep into, Chelsea Chandler versus Yana Santos.
Yeah.
I'm really going to enjoy this one.
I mean, Yana's on a 4-fight losing streak. Yana can't get it done. If she can get it done against anybody, it'll be Chelsea Chandler. So, but I have a bad taste in my mouth with Dudikova. This is a no bet for me, but I will be taking Chelsea Chandler. Stockton, baby. I just like rooting for her, I think I have a lot of respect for Norma Dumont, and although she got hit, turned, and ran, she ain't no bitch. She still fought out a decision with Norma Dumont. So plus 105, I like it a little better than minus 125. I'm not taking another Russian blondie cutie pie again. And Yana Santos' husband is not training hard. She's not training hard. She's on her way out. 3-fight losing streak. Show her the door, Chelsea Chandler. You're the new wave, even though you're not much younger, only a year younger, but you're newer to the UFC. You only have 8 fights. I think she's a little less war-torn, a little less miles in the gas tank, on the odometer, not in the gas tank. She got more in the gas tank, less on the odometer. Give me CC, Chelsea Chandler, and Dan is taking Yana Santos. I'll be right back.
All right, perfect. Now I get the pleasure of taking you through the most exciting fight on the card, Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler. I'm going to go with Chelsea Chandler on this one. It's ironic that she is of 209 Stockton, California scrap pack lineage. She looks a lot like Jake Shields. She looks a lot like Jake Shields. She's got a big chin. I love big chins. I'm going with Chelsea Chandler in this one. I love the size of her chin. A woman with a big chin tells me a lot. Next up, we got Chris Gutierrez versus Lee. Lee's taking this short notice. Chris Gutierrez was supposed to fight Javid Basharat. Tough customer, tough fight. I know a lot of people think that he got fraud checked in the last one, but I still respect Basharat, and I respect Gutierrez for taking that fight because Basharat coming off of a loss, I believe, is going to be a tough fight. But he gets Lee in this one, and I think Chris Gutierrez wins this. I do think Basharat would have won against Chris Gutierrez just because of the style matchup. I think that Basharat's wrestling would just be able to overwhelm Chris Gutierrez and not give him the space he needs to land those flashy kicks. Now, I don't know too much about Lee, but I'm a big Chris Gutierrez fan. Love Chris Gutierrez. Love his style. Love the dynamic strikes. He always mixes it up on the feet. Gonna go with Chris Gutierrez, but one knock against him, he does kind of fight like Chito Vera. He is a little laxy-daisy in the beginning of the fight and kind of turns it on later, and he can give up rounds sometimes, but hopefully he does not show that again. I think he did that with like Frankie Edgar or some shit, just like one Chito Vera and knocked him out late when Frankie Edgar may or may not have been winning that fight. Not positive how that went, but I'm not remembering very well. Next up, we got Barlow versus Veretennikov. I'm going to go with Barlow's split decision on this one. I think this is going to be a close fight, although the gentleman from Kazakhstan is coming in on short notice to face Barlow. I'm concerned. I'm always concerned when a no-name guy with a clean record coming in from Kazakhstan is coming in on short notice, because it seems as though when you're coming from that region, short notice, it doesn't matter how long you have to prepare. You're always coming in and you're making it a good fight. Think of Zalgas Zumagulov. I mean, he'll make anybody fight him to a split decision, whether it's the champion of the division or, the last guy on the roster. He will either win a split decision or lose a split decision. He will fight you exactly to your ability. But, I am worried about this Veretennikov guy, so I'm not going to go too hard on Barlow. But I'm taking Barlow. I love Barlow. I love everything about Barlow. I love his story. I love the look. I love the style. I love the swagger. I think he wins this by split decision, though. I just think that this guy coming in out of Kazakhstan, call me superstitious, but I've been burned by a guy like this in the past, and I just want to make sure that I'm covering my bases. So I'm not going to be going too crazy on Barlow, but I think he's going to win split decision.
Yep.
All right, you missed Gutierrez and Barlow.
Dan is taking Gutierrez. I'm taking Gutierrez.
Triple P certified Gutierrez.
Yeah, just not impressed with 32-year-old, 5'6" Vietnamese guy. Never been a Vietnamese champion. Coming into the UFC, never fought in the UFC. Simple as that. I'm taking Veretennikov.
Okay.
Why did you take Barlow?
Veretennikov is coming in on short notice, for one. Barlow is, I guess I'm just going to take the people through exactly what I just fucking told them. Barlow, I like everything about Barlow. I loved his last fight. Huh?
I was listening. I just shut the door.
Oh, okay. I love everything about Barlow. I think that, his style's great. I loved his last fight. He was very explosive, very powerful, clean strikes. I think that he's got a lot of talent. I think that he's going to win this one by split decision. If the Kazakh guy gives him any trouble, it's probably going to be from the wrestling, and I think that Barlow will be able to eke him out with more significant strikes rather than control time, and maybe one judge ends up giving it to the Kazakh fella and the other two give it to Barlow. I just don't know. I feel like these Kazakh fighters, they're sneaky, they're good, they come into the UFC prepared. All of them have been fairly good. They've either none of them have come into the UFC, take 3 losses and get out. ZZ had quite a few losses, but those were all split decisions, and it could have gone either way. I love ZZ. I think Zalgas Zumagulov should still have a job. Speaking of which, did you know Jennifer Maia isn't in the UFC anymore? She's in Invicta. They sent her down to their own league for losing one fight. What the fuck's going on with that?
I mean, I can pretend to care, but I do agree with you. I mean, Jennifer Maia, one of my biggest plays was Valentina to win by decision in that fight. So minus 1,600 or so favorite, brought it into plus money territory by taking her by decision, because I just knew Maia was going to be tough and scrappy in there.
While you go through this, I'm gonna fill my water.
What I want to see here, what I'm looking for here is, Veretennikov. Does he have any history with his boy from Kazakhstan, the Shavkat Rakhmonov? If he's cut from the same cloth as Rakhmonov, I think he goes in there and takes Danny Barlow down. Danny Barlow, you got to remember, guys, from Tennessee. Tennessee does not contest wrestling at a national level. I like Danny Barlow, but if his path to victory is the way he's been getting it done by knockout, I don't think he knocks this guy out. And I think that when you're 8-0, and when you've not lost in the UFC, you've not lost at all, you're due. Unless this guy is, left hand from God, is this left hand, is he sent by God, and is he one of the guys to really keep an eye on? I'm just not seeing that yet, right? Not from Hakeem Forrest, not from Josh Quinlan, not from those wins, right? So I like that this guy fought 3 months ago, got a knockout on his own. He's going to be confident. I hope not too confident to strike with this guy, but to me, this is going to be a big underdog play, a chance to catch a guy coming in who's going to be a guy everybody's talking about afterwards. I just think it's going to be a tougher fight than Barlow has prepared for. And if you look, Barlow is supposed to be fighting Urus Medic, right? Urus the Dentist Medic, who actually I think would have been a much tougher fight.
Medic.
Yeah, he looked really good against Tim Means, Semmelsberger, Omar Moraes. But yeah, I'm going with, man, we're supposed to have Johnny Parsons on this card. I'm going with the underdog here, Nikolai Veretennikov. Just wild hair at my ass kind of thing.
Who's Dan have?
Dan has Danny Barlow.
Awesome. Next up, a banger. Chepe Mariscal versus Damon the Leech Jackson. Personally, I'm going to go with Chepe by TKO. Jackson is a guy who wins a lot of fights by wilting his opponents, making his opponents fade in the later rounds. That's not going to happen with Chepe. I don't really think that he's going to have the same issues that other guys have had with Damon Jackson in the past. And in fact, I think Chepe is going to finish Damon Jackson. Simple as that. I think Chepe's got some slick hands, and he's gonna put them all over Jackson. I don't think the reach is going to matter much. Jackson's going to be significantly longer, right?
Longer, taller, but thinner and bulky, and I think
Frail.
older as well, right? 36, 5 years older at 145. We just got done talking about Billy Quarantillo. This is his Billy Quarantillo moment. He's going to get knocked the fuck out. Jackson's a flincher. He's a bit of a flincher. He's a bit of a wincer. He's a bit of a, that hurt, kind of guy. And listen, I love Damon the Leech Jackson. But this is a bad fight for him. Brick-headed Mariscal is going to eat anything he's got coming. He's not going to get submitted. He's going to knock him out. TKO by Mariscal.
Chepe Mariscal looks like Ralph Barbosa.
Yeah. In a way. Cool. So Dan is going with Chepe. So Cho will be certified Chepe Mariscal. Me and Alex are saying by finish, by knockout. That'll get you some better line on that. And next we got the main event: Marcin Tybura, Serghei Spivac 2. What happened last time these guys fought?
Tybura won by decision. I think Spivac won the first round, and Tybura beat him in the last two.
Yep.
But I don't know if my memory serves me correct. I think this fight happened in like 2019 or 2018.
Yeah, I'm going all in on Spivac here. I like that he took 11 months off the Cyril Gane loss. I like that he has gotten guys out of there who were kind of in the Tybura ilk. Guys like Sakai, Lewis, Hardy, right? He's only been knocked out and beaten in the UFC by Aspinall, champ, Cyril Gane, champ. He got finished by Walt Harris, who that was 2019. That was a round one, kind of onslaught kind of thing. And also that was his, I believe, it was his first fight in the UFC. If I look into it, did he take that on short notice? I'm checking that real quick. Originally Walt Harris was supposed to fight Alexei Olenek. So that was his ticket in, right? Forgiven. So if you look at that, his only two losses are to the two champs, and he's beaten and finished, some guys who, like, he finished Olenek, the fight that he was supposed to have. They eventually gave it to him. He finished Tuivasa, a finisher. He finished Jared Vandera, a scrub, but a lot of guys will take Jared to a decision, a boring ass decision. Finished Greg Hardy, finished Sakai, finished Derek Lewis. So a guy who finishes finishers versus a guy who, this fight is, I wanted to get the drop of, you give your pick real quick. I'll give Dan's. Dan is taking Spivac. I'm taking Spivac emphatically. Love that they fought before. Love that Spivac lost the first one. Love that Spivac's coming off a knockout because I think we're getting a great value, great line here. I'm going to pull up the clip that I wanted to show on this fight. And I think it's going to be really funny. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this one.
Sweet. I'm going to go with Tybura. I think Tybura might even beat him more emphatically this time. I think Tybura even has a chance to finish this one. Rare for Tybura. He's not really known as a finisher. But, although he's 38 years old, that doesn't really impact heavyweights as much. And where other 38-year-olds or, Twilight guys that you see, Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner, etc. Those guys, they don't show improvement between each fight. Where Tybura, you can still see that he is improving different elements of his game, and I don't necessarily see that as much with Spivac, although he does have some great.
It's true then.
Although he does have some great performances in the octagon, I just don't think it's going to be enough to get over the hump of Tybura. Couldn't get over it last time. I don't think he's going to get over it again. Luke brought up a lot of those great performances by Spivac. One thing you'll see in common with a lot of those guys, all strikers, Tybura's got a good ground game himself. I don't think that Spivac's going to really control the grappling exchanges in this one, and Tybura is going to have his way in the clinches. So I'm going with Tybura in this one. Emphatically, I think that he might even get a TKO this time, since it's a 5-rounder.
Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. Harry Potter. This is Crabbe and Goyle.
This fight, I'm introducing it as this is Crabbe and Goyle. These two. This is who we're watching fight this weekend, guys. This is who they base the main event around. You want to call, and it's sad because you want to reserve calling guys ugly for Paul Felder, for Anthony Smith, but this is Crabbe and this is Goyle. This is who's fighting this weekend. You got Marcin Tybura and Serghei Spivac, Crabbe and Goyle. Two of the ugliest characters in Harry Potter. Not saying a lot because there's monsters in Harry Potter. There's the whole Forbidden Forest. There's Hagrid. There's a lot of ugly people. But
don't even get me started on the bankers.
Oh, the Gringotts goblins. I mean, there's lots of scary figures in Harry Potter, but Crabbe and Goyle are the ugliest. And Marcin Tybura and Serghei Spivac, here, piggies, here, piggies, couple of piggies, big piggy fight. This is the pig out, and we're going to pig out on Serghei Spivac. I'm going to bet every dollar I have on Serghei Spivac, 29 years old, 9 years younger. Heavyweight division might be the one that you can get away with being an old fuck, but at the end of the day, Polar Bear team coming off the knockout loss, 11 months, appropriate amount of time. Tybura coming off of, getting Ty out of there the same way Spivac did by submission, but also got knocked out by Tom Aspinall. Couldn't finish Blagoy Ivanov. I think that the pressure has been relieved 4 months ago, getting that submission over Ty. But it's not enough. He's too old. He's fighting the clock. It's only going to be enough to relieve the pressure. You want pressure on yourself in this game, and Spivac has it. He's young. He's gotten finished by Cyril Gane in his last fight. He's got to show something, got to prove something. Spivac by decision, Spivac by wrestle fuck, maybe by finish, maybe by ground and pound. Spivac by ground and pound, actually. It's a 5-round fight. I don't think this can possibly last 5 rounds. So I'm going Spivac by ground and pound finish. I think you're wrong, Alex. I'd beg you to reconsider, but hey, it's a main event. You can always hedge out if your perfect parlay is going. I'm going to take everybody through my full picks, and I'm going to give you even my payouts. And one thing we're going to start doing again is letting you know what the would-be payout would be if you did bet the perfect parlay that week. So pulling up FanDuel, that's what I'm going to choose to use, even though they don't have the best lines at all times. But, I like their user interface. I like their user experience. So DraftKings, fucking liberal hive mind over there at DraftKings. At the end of the day, don't ban me. DraftKings, don't ban me. Because they're quick with the ban over at DraftKings. So like, we will ban you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn. Sorry, they're making me do an authentication code. Copying the code. Alex, here we go. I'm going to write your picks down. Go ahead. Give everybody your picks first.
All right. If you're rolling with me, you're going with Tybura, Chepe Mariscal, Danny Barlow, Chris Gutierrez, Chelsea Chandler, Grigoriou.
All right. Can you just give me a second to... I thought I could more quickly pull up the sheet that I tracked your picks in.
Okay. You ready?
I'm almost ready. Everybody, this has been the Perfect Play with you. We thank you so much for joining us. It's just me and Alex this week. We gave you Dan's picks. I'll give you them again at the end here. And we thank you. We really thank you for being here. We love you and we value you. And value is all you got in this game. Okay. Damn, what the fuck's going on with the open bet sheet? Hold on. Shit's all fucked up. All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're rolling with me, you're going Tybura, Chepe, Danny Barlow, Chris Gutierrez, Chelsea Chandler, Grigoriou, Karol Rosa, Diniz, Zalal, and Tatiana Alencar.
Okay, if you're going with me, you're going with Serghei Spivac, Chepe Mariscal, Nikolai Veretennikov, Chris Gutierrez, Chelsea Chandler, Charlampos Grigoriou, Karol Rosa, Jhonata Diniz, Youssef Zalal, and Talita Alencar. Really love the Zalal pick. Really love the Mariscal pick. Might parlay those two together. And the Spivac pick. So if I'm doing 3 bets, those are the 3 I'm doing. If you're asking me to take an underdog, I'm taking Alencar. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Dan is going with little Danny boy. Alencar, Zalal, Williams, Kianzad, Grigoriou, Santos, Barlow, Chepe, and Spivac and Gutierrez. Those are Danny's picks. Thank you all for joining the show. Hope you like the Harry Potter bit. Hope you like everything we do here. You know, we're fans of yours. We hope you join the Discord. We hope you talk with us in the Discord this weekend. I won't be in there. Like I said, I have a wedding. I'll probably watch the first 2 or 3 fights, and I'll be checking my phone throughout the wedding, obviously. Did you guys see the video of the guy at his own wedding with the laptop at the bride and groom table watching the fights? It's got to be me, man. I mean, I don't know. I think we're going to, that's one thing my fiance said to me. She said, and we'll be back in our hotel room by the time the UFC starts, so you can watch the fights. And I was like, babe, of course, it's our wedding. I don't need to worry about that. And but the fact that she did that for me, thought about that even is why I'm marrying this woman. You know what I mean? So besides the fact that we have 2 kids together at this point now, so let's get it, guys. Let's do it. We'll take you through, the perfect parlay results next weekend and the weeks to come. We'll definitely start doing that. It's a new era. By the start of year 6, we're gonna really have this shit buttoned up. I'm personally in a position of I'm making a ton of money right now. I'm building my resources so that I can have the studio, the experience that you guys deserve. I got nothing but ideas, and we're gonna keep going with the show, and we love being here. So
I feel like a national Larry Ballsy bear.
We'll see you guys next weekend. Love you.